On December 20th, 2009, Hollywood woke up to devastating news. Brittany Murphy, the beloved actress known for her charm, wit, and unforgettable roles in films like Clueless, 8 Mile, and Girl, Interrupted, was gone. Just 32 years old, Murphy's sudden death shocked fans and colleagues alike. The official cause? Pneumonia, anemia, and drug intoxication from prescription and over-the-counter medications. But almost immediately, the circumstances surrounding her death raised troubling questions. How could a healthy young actress die so suddenly of pneumonia? Why were there so many conflicting reports about her health, her marriage, and her home life? And why, just 5 months later, did her husband, Simon Monjack, die under eerily similar conditions in the very same house? This is the haunting mystery of Brittany Murphy's death, a story that many believe was more than just an accident. Brittany Murphy burst onto the Hollywood scene in the mid-1990s. With her breakout role as Ty in Clueless, she quickly became one of the most sought-after young actresses of her generation. She was known for her bubbly personality, raspy voice, and ability to shift seamlessly from comedy to drama. In the early 2000s, Brittany starred in major films, including 8 Mile alongside Eminem, Uptown Girls with Dakota Fanning, and Sin City. She was adored by fans, respected by her peers, and considered one of Hollywood's brightest rising stars. But behind the glamour of red carpets and movie premieres, Brittany's personal life was far more complicated. By the mid-2000s, rumors swirled about Brittany's health, her relationships, and her alleged drug use. Hollywood tabloids speculated that she was struggling with an eating disorder. She appeared increasingly thin, and whispers about substance abuse followed her from one press junket to another. In 2007, Brittany married British screenwriter Simon Monjack. Their marriage immediately raised eyebrows. Friends and former colleagues described Monjack as controlling and manipulative. He had a history of financial troubles, lawsuits, and questionable behavior. Family members worried about Brittany's well-being. In December 2009, Brittany and Simon were living in a Hollywood Hills mansion that had once belonged to Britney Spears. The house, however, had a dark reputation. Spears had abandoned it years earlier, claiming it had a bad feeling. On the morning of December 20th, Brittany collapsed in the bathroom. Emergency responders rushed to the home, but it was too late. She was pronounced dead at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. The coroner's report listed pneumonia as the primary cause of death, with anemia and prescription drug intoxication as contributing factors. Investigators found dozens of medications in the home, both prescribed and over-the-counter. But the mystery didn't end there. Just 5 months later, tragedy struck again. Simon Monjack was found dead in the same home, at the same age Brittany had been when she died, 32. The coroner's report was almost identical: pneumonia and anemia. 2 people dying in the same house, of the same conditions, just months apart? For many, this was no coincidence. It was a chilling parallel that fueled speculation of something darker at play. Soon, attention turned to the home itself. Brittany's mother, Sharon Murphy, suggested that toxic mold inside the house may have contributed to both deaths. At first, the Los Angeles County Department of Health dismissed the idea. But experts pointed out that long-term exposure to mold can cause respiratory issues, pneumonia, and even death. Could Brittany and Simon have been victims not of foul play, but of environmental poisoning? Yet this theory left many questions unanswered. Why had no one else who visited the house fallen ill? And why were the coroner's findings centered on drug intoxication? In 2013, the mystery deepened further when Brittany's estranged father, Angelo Bertolotti, commissioned independent toxicology tests on samples of Brittany's hair. The results were shocking. High levels of heavy metals were detected, substances commonly found in rat poison. Bertolotti publicly claimed his daughter had been poisoned. He accused Hollywood insiders and even government forces of conspiring to silence her. But the Los Angeles County coroner dismissed the findings, arguing that environmental contamination could have tainted the samples. Officially, Brittany's death remained natural. Still, the poison theory refused to die. Brittany Murphy was not just an actress. She was a witness to Hollywood's dark side. Reports suggest she may have known too much about shady dealings in the industry. Her husband, Simon, often claimed they were being watched, followed, and harassed. He even insisted that the U.S. government had them under surveillance. While many dismissed his paranoia, Brittany herself told friends she felt unsafe in her own home. Some conspiracy theorists argue that Brittany was silenced because she planned to blow the whistle on corruption in Hollywood, or even on political scandals involving her acquaintances. Was her death simply too convenient? Adding another layer of mystery is Brittany's mother, Sharon. She lived with Brittany and Simon in the mansion and was present during both deaths. Some have questioned Sharon's role, especially since she inherited the house and Brittany's estate. Reports of her close relationship with Simon after Brittany's death, rumors even suggested they shared a bed, sparked tabloid speculation. Though there's no evidence Sharon was involved in foul play, her actions and statements over the years have fueled conspiracy theories. Brittany's friends and colleagues continue to mourn her loss. Many described her as warm, funny, and full of life, making it even harder to believe she died from something as mundane as pneumonia. Actress Kathy Najimy, one of Brittany's closest friends, publicly questioned the official story. Others in Hollywood pointed to Brittany's declining health and strange behavior in her final months, describing her as fragile and fearful. But even among those who knew her best, opinions are divided. Some believe she was simply a victim of poor health and bad luck. Others insist her death was part of a larger, more sinister plot. More than a decade later, Brittany Murphy's death remains one of Hollywood's greatest unsolved mysteries. Was she truly a victim of pneumonia, weakened by anemia and medication? Was toxic mold to blame? Or was she poisoned, taken down by forces she couldn't escape? What makes Brittany's case so haunting is not just the unanswered questions, but the eerie symmetry of Simon's death. Two young lives cut short in the same house, under the same circumstances. To this day, fans continue to demand answers. Documentaries, podcasts, and investigative reports revisit her case, but the truth remains elusive. Brittany Murphy's story is not just about a talented actress gone too soon. It's about the darkness lurking behind Hollywood's bright lights. A world where success can be deadly, secrets are buried deep, and even the truth may never see the light of day. Brittany Murphy was a star who lit up every screen she touched. Her energy was infectious, her performances unforgettable. And yet, her story ended not with the glory of a Hollywood ending, but with silence, suspicion, and grief. Whether her death was an accident, an environmental tragedy, or a conspiracy will likely never be proven beyond doubt. But what remains is the memory of a woman who deserved so much more than the shadows that now surround her legacy. Her mysterious death is a chilling reminder. In Hollywood, sometimes the most tragic stories don't unfold on the screen, but behind closed doors.